I can do two things. I can listen, or I can grab you and squeeze you as fucking hard as I can and hope that that makes you feel better. I'm here today with my buddy Chris Seipel, aka the mental health mentor. Chris, you've got a background as an educator, 17 years as a high school teacher. You recently transitioned out of that. Tell me a little bit about that and about that journey and what were some of the catalysts behind that?
So, yeah, as you just said, I've been a high school teacher, mainly maths, to boys aged 15 to 18. And in that time, I developed some severe anxiety it wasn't as a result of teaching, but I developed some severe anxiety. And throughout that time, I realised that maybe I wasn't the only one that was experiencing that type of feeling. So I started to talk and be open with the boys about how I was feeling and what I was going through. And I found so many kids open up to me and tell me that they were experiencing similar things, whether it be anxiety, depression, or just really wanted to talk to someone. And they said that they felt they could talk to me because I was open and honest with them. 8 months ago, for a couple of reasons, I chose to leave the teaching profession and started a business and started to mentor kids, boys and men, professionally, and engage in public speaking, whether it be at sporting clubs or fitness clubs. And currently I'm trying to get into schools. So yeah, that's just a little bit about me at the moment.
And so obviously the world's a pretty different place today than it was 7 days ago, 14 days ago. How's that affected, I guess, both your business and your state of mind?
I don't watch news or read newspapers, so I try and just keep away from as much of that as I can because I know it creates hysteria amongst people. But I found on Tuesday that my anxiety levels got really, really high because I just noticed that there was no one on the streets. They're talking about social isolation, and for me, for someone who's got anxiety, the thought of socially isolating makes me feel like I'm going to be a really, really lonely person for however long this lasts for. They're saying that it could last up to 6 months. So basically this week I've had 2 speaking engagements cancelled because of the virus. For someone that is trying to work for themselves, there's no money coming in, so I don't know when I'm going to get paid next. People running small businesses, people running any businesses, having no revenue, still having to pay rent. There's going to be a lot of problems associated with all of this, which is really, really worrying. Yeah, it's really, really concerning. Last night, if I'm being honest, I just fucking cried my eyes out all night. I honestly don't know what to do. I've got very little money left to my name because I've spent so much over the last 6 years trying to get myself well. And, I'm doing this because I want to help people, but at the moment, there's bigger things at play. But the thing that really concerns me, and I'm not talking about myself here, is the mental health of the human race. Anxiety levels are going to increase dramatically, and I really hope that I'm wrong, but I feel that suicides are going to go up.
Yeah, I mean, I can only kind of speak from personal experience, but yeah, it's fucking brutal. I want to get back to, I guess, the topic around anxiety and I guess social distancing, social isolation. I've expressed this to you before. I don't have the tools sometimes when you're in a bad way, like just such a selfish prick for saying this, but like me on the other end here, so sort of, I'm feeling a little bit not armed with the right set of skills that I need to have to kind of help those around me. What's your experience from the flip side of that?
Basically, mate, I've spent the last week by myself. I go to the gym in the morning, and then it's really actually quite emotional, but I have nothing to do. I sit at home by myself and it's fucked. It's horrible. Try and get out as much as I can, but what's there to do? There's nothing to do when you're fucking not earning any money and and I was getting better, and my anxiety was getting better. Now I just feel like it's going to get worse again. I just, I don't know, I just don't, sometimes don't see the point anymore.
You just got to remember how much you've got to offer, though. I mean, your lived experience. I mean, psychiatrists and psychologists who clearly have never experienced a day of anxiety or depression in their lives through your experience, through what you've lived through, from the kind of complete scope of every day of the last sort of 6 to 7 years is that's valuable. I think that's going to be needed more than ever. You're right, there is going to be a lot of people who are in a place where they are experiencing things for the first time, that they're, this has become your kind of day to day, but for them, this is day one. Imagine if you had someone who was 6 years into the journey when it was day one for you. You've been fucking brave throughout this whole thing. So let's just, let's see if we can get you back firing.
Thanks, mate. I appreciate it.
Fuck, I mean, it takes it takes a special kind of person to experience the kind of the severe lows that you've been through, and then still your first response is to think of other people and how you can actually help them. What were some of the things that got you to that place?
Well, when I stopped teaching 8 months ago, I literally sat on my couch every day by myself. I didn't exercise, I didn't meditate, I did nothing. I sat feeling anxious, crying most of the time, and I did that for about 4 months. And that whole time, I still had boys reaching out to me, asking me for help. I used to teach these kids, they look up to me, they trust me, they believe my story, and they believe what I tell them. So why can't I start helping them in a more formal and official capacity? So that's how I started. When you go through something that I've gone through, you can't not think about like pain and what other people go through. It's just like if you've honestly experienced like fucking deep, fucking dark anxiety where you want to fucking kill yourself, you surely have to develop some type of empathy for other people, and people that notice that they have friends that are struggling actually do something about it. Like, I'm talking about someone else who's struggling and doesn't have that many people in their lives. It is really nice for that person to hear from someone else who actually sincerely gives a fuck about them. And I know everyone's struggling. People with families are struggling because they might have lost their jobs or whatever, but you've still got a family and you've still got a partner and you've got people there to support you. There's some people who don't have any of that at all. So I just implore those people to get on the phone and ring someone and just ask them how they are. You don't have to go and see them, but I just fear that there's going to be a lot of people sitting at home alone, as I will be.
Just had a little bit of a technical difficulty. Chris's phone just ran out of batteries, so unfortunately we'll have to cut the conversation short there. The conversation went pretty deep in some places. It got sort of quite emotional. It's one of the hardest things with social distancing is that to see one of your best friends struggling, and you just want to grab them and give him a big ridiculous bear hug, just wanting to see him kind of pull through and to be able to thrive on the back end of this. So if anyone does work in organizations where they feel that the Chris's services could be of value, check out the Mental Health Mentor, Chris Seipel on Facebook, LinkedIn also. He'll add immense value and perspective to your organization and how you can handle the topic of mental health throughout this tricky and unprecedented period of time.